Hello everyone, welcome back, and today I have another top 10 roller coaster list. The reason I'm doing it again is because I recently went to Six Flags Discovery Kingdom in Vallejo, California, and that changed my list quite a bit, so let's get started. Number 10 is Timberhawk at Wild Waves Theme Park in Seattle, Washington. It's a very fun wooden coaster. It's a little on the short side, but it's still fun. It has fine airtime. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. So I would say it's a slightly above average coaster. Number 9 is Batman the Ride at Six Flags parks around the world. The one I rode is the one at Six Flags Magic Mountain. And luckily it's the one that I like the color scheme the most. As you can see, it's a very pretty blue with black supports. But the main reason I like this coaster is because it is pretty intense. It has 4 Gs, which in case you don't know is 4 times the weight of your body, most of the ride. So you feel it's just so crazy. You can gray out, which means lose color vision. That's not a bad thing. Don't let that scare you. Yeah, it's a great coaster. Yeah. Next is Vertical Velocity at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom in Vallejo, California. This is the first new one on the list, and it was my first inverted impulse coaster, which means it's inverted, and it launches up, launches down, launches up, launches down, and repeats that process a few times. The cool thing about this one, though, is most of them, both of the towers are vertical. But on this one of the towers is actually 30 degrees. So that's because it was too tall when they first built it. Because the Vallejo city has a height limit of 150 feet. And so they chopped off one end of the part of the backside, and then they angled the front tower. So that makes it very fun. There's quite a bit of hang time, as you can see it twists. Yeah, it's very fun. Number 7 is Silver Bullet at Knott's Berry Farm in Buena Park, California. This is a very cool inverted coaster. It's one of the longer inverted coasters. It has 6 inversions. It's not as intense as Batman, but it's still fairly intense. But what I like how it's located all over water, and that can give you a nice effect when you're like upside down looking down at water. It's pretty cool. The last helix. Now, I said it wasn't too intense. That was all of the ride apart from the last helix. That last helix may be the most intense roller coaster experience I've ever had. Because you're going 55 miles an hour, and the helix is probably only 20 feet in diameter. So it's so tight, and it's so crazy. Number 6 is the Riddlers Revenge at Six Flags Magic Mountain in Valencia, California. This is the tallest, fastest, longest stand-up coaster in the world. And it's very fun. It has a little more airtime than you would expect from a looping coaster. Not that there's too much, but there is still some. I like how the loop goes around the lift hill. And it's a pretty long coaster. It's almost 3 minutes, and the lift hill's fairly fast. So, yeah, I didn't feel disappointed at all when I got off the ride. Like, on a lot of coasters, I kind of do, because, like, it's a fun ride, but then, like, that was it. Number 5 is Medusa at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom in Vallejo, California. This is the only B&M floorless coaster that I've been on, and that means that the trains have no floor, so your feet just dangle above the track. And it's very fun. I especially like how the first drop is not twisted like it is on a lot of looping coasters, which adds a little more airtime effect. I love all the inversions, the loop, the dive loop, the 0G roll, the sea serpent roll, and the corkscrews. My favorite is definitely the dive loop, because while you're going up into the twist before the loop, I feel like you get a little bit of airtime, which is very fun. It also has my first sea serpent roll, which is kind of like a cobra roll, but the entrance and exit of the inversion are in the same direction. But in case you didn't know what a cobra roll was, it goes up, does a half loop, does a half corkscrew, and then it does a half corkscrew in the other direction, and then comes back out the same way that it came in. Number 4 is Full Throttle at Six Flags Magic Mountain in Valencia, California. This ride has the world's tallest loop, 160 feet tall. And let me tell you, you hang so much at the top of the loop. It is crazy, especially because it only has lap bars, which I always like. I like roller coasters with only lap bars. The rest of the ride is pretty average, although it is pretty cool how it launches over the top of the loop in a top hat. The one thing I have to complain about this coaster is that you can see there is a brake run on the drop of the top hat. And that's kind of annoying because you're having this good airtime moment and then you just slam to a brake run. So, it's kind of annoying. Number 3 is Superman Ultimate Flight at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom in Vallejo, California. This is another launch coaster. It's just very weird. I don't know too much what to say about it. It's very unique. It's it's just crazy. It has the only non-inverting loop that I've been on, which means you do a loop, but you twist on the way up and on the way down so you don't go upside down. It has also a really slow barrel roll at the top, and it also only has lap bars, so again, you are hanging. It goes backwards, which is always pretty fun, and yeah, it's a great ride. Number 2 is Accelerator at Knott's Berry Farm in Buena Park, California. This ride has probably some of the craziest acceleration in the world. 0 to 82 miles per hour in 2.3 seconds. That's crazy. And then you go straight up 200 feet, straight down, does a few turns, and the ride's over. It is short, but in that time, it packs a big punch. It is definitely one of the best coasters I've ever ridden. And my number 1 coaster is Twisted Colossus at Six Flags Magic Mountain. This ride has some of the best ejector airtime ever. It has amazing inversions, even though there's only 2. It's a long ride, almost 4 minutes. It's the only hybrid I've ever been on, and it races, which is also pretty cool. It has a high five where both trains go sideways by each other, and it gives the illusion that you can high five, but you can't. There's a Top Gun stall where you're hanging upside down for like 3 seconds, and you're kind of close to the ground, so it feels like your head's gonna get scraped off. There's an outward bank, and it's just amazing. So I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.